I have an amazing person that I'm interviewing. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Mr. Isaiah on another Nomad Chats with Bria-maine. So we know each other a little bit. I want to let him talk a little bit about how we know each other. And why don't you start with giving us your name, age, and where you're from as well?
Thank you, Bria. So my name is Isaiah Ashley. I am from Greensboro, North Carolina. I moved to Thailand when I was 25, and I'm 27 now. I'll be 28 in literally like 2 months in May. So um, time has flown by.
Oh, snap. So your birthday's in May too? Mine is May 4th.
Really?
Yeah, it's coming up, but I'm not going to
That
be fresh like you. I'm going to be 31.
your birthday is the day before mine. I'm May 5th.
Really? Oh my god, so your birthday's Cinco de Mayo? That is awesome. Like, that is such an awesome birthday. I thought
Yeah,
my birthday was cool because it was the day before, and I'm like, well, even if I don't do anything, I can do something the day after, but
yeah.
that's pretty cool. So, you said you're from North Carolina. Were you living there before you came to Thailand, or were you living in other states?
No, my whole life raised in North Carolina. I was technically born in New York. My birth certificate says New York, but I was not. They moved when I was a baby, so I can't
Yeah.
claim a New York accent or nothing like that.
Have you like been to New York, like visiting
Yeah, yeah,
family
yeah,
and
yeah. I've been to New York a lot because I have a cousin, one of my like favorite cousins, if I can say that.
yeah.
Lives in New York, so I go hang out there quite often.
Well, that's awesome. So, what inspired you to leave North Carolina and to come all the way to Bangkok, of all places? Because I always say, like, going abroad, you can move anywhere. Like, you could go to
Right.
Mexico, Europe, anywhere. What really inspired you to come to Thailand and Bangkok?
Honestly, I'd probably say like other YouTubers. Like back when I'm just living in the States and watching these people who are digital nomads. And
Hmm.
Thailand was even back then. I don't know how many years ago it was now, but like Thailand was even then was one of the popular destinations amongst those nomads, along with
Well,
like Bali.
remind us, how long have you been living here? I'm sorry.
So since 2022,
Okay, so yeah,
yeah,
a few years.
yeah, a few years now. And so yeah, I was prior, like even going back pre COVID, uh,
Hmm.
2019, I think I was still like I was watching YouTubers living abroad and whatnot, and like I don't know, Southeast Asia just kept popping up. Like I had seen people also do places like Mexico and stuff, but
Hmm.
um, I don't know. I think just the allure of coming over to Southeast Asia, I had never been. I just thought
Yeah.
it'd be different and unique. And once all the restrictions had lifted up, the borders opened again. I made honestly a quick decision within like I made a decision to move within 3 weeks time,
Hmm.
because in 2022 I was running my business, which I had been doing for like over like 5 years, pressure wash, and then my younger brother took it over, so like that freed up my time. I was no longer bound to be like in North
Hmm.
Carolina, and I was at the point where it's like since that business had been pretty much my adulthood life, so I was like at a point of transition where I'm like, okay, like what do I want to do next? Like what's the next phase? So I decided that I was either going to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, which would have been like an hour and a half away from where I grew up.
Very similar still. Yeah.
Yeah. So I either move up the street or across the world. I chose across the world because I was already was making some money online from like a previous YouTube channel and some other ventures. So I was like, the cost of living looks great. I've heard good things. Let me go check it out. And just
Now, had you been to other countries before you came to Thailand?
Yeah, I had been to other countries, but just simply for vacation. I got my passport, I believe, in 2021, and as soon as I got it, I had went to Mexico, and I had went to Mexico like twice, been to Jamaica, and I had been to
Mhm.
Dubai at the time. So Dubai was my furthest flight. So it kind of prepared me for coming to Thailand as far as like being on a plane
Yeah.
for um yeah, I mean, and I had no honestly, I had no idea what living abroad was going to be like. Looking back, like when I explained it, some people are like, "That's kind of crazy that you moved somewhere that you had never visited." Uh,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just like I guess in my mind, like I don't mind taking the risk because one, like being in like I've been entrepreneurial my whole life. That kind of give me that spirit of taking risk. Like I don't mind doing it.
Mhm.
I'll figure it out. And then also the fact that like I moved here, like not married, no partner, no children. It was like I'm just like it's just me. So like worst case scenario, if I don't like it, I'll just come back to the states. So I
Yeah,
really
like you're not affecting too many people if it doesn't work out because it's just you.
yeah, I didn't really see much of a downside. So I just said like, what the heck, let's try it out. If I hated it, I'll
Okay.
come back. But I ended up liking it. So I'm obviously.
Well, like that really like perfectly goes into like the next question of like what were your non-negotiables or like things that you had to have when choosing to move abroad because I feel like that kind of helps you determine what country you want to live in. So I would imagine there were some things about Thailand that kind of checked off some boxes for you. So what were you kind of looking for in a new country outside of your own in America?
Yeah, so like for most people who consider Thailand, one of the biggest things or the biggest attractions to Thailand is obviously how far the dollar goes. It's undeniable.
Mhm.
One of the reasons why I definitely was willing to give here a chance because I'm online and I'm seeing, what apartments and condos you can get for this price range,
Mhm.
all the different costs involved. So like that was definitely, up there as far as reasons.
The
Along
price, of course, yeah.
along with people saying that they felt comfortable here and like they felt safe. So like for me now, um obviously the money was a big part then. Now it's like as I've lived overseas long, I'm like the biggest thing for me, obviously cost of living still matters, but then on like right under that is definitely gonna be like safety. And that's one thing I give Thailand props for. I've never felt unsafe here, no matter
Mhm.
what time of night I'm out or where I've been. And I have stories that like they just show how safe things have been for here for me. Um,
Mhm.
and
Well,
so
little
yeah,
side question.
yeah.
What is the most unsafe you felt in Thailand? Like even if it's very small, because everyone says like it's so safe here, it's so safe. What is one time that you could say like you were a little like, oh, I'm not sure, and how big or small was that incident?
Okay, well I can give one example. Like so we all know motorbikes have an element of
Mm,
danger, just in the fact that they're motorbikes. They're on two wheels. No,
yeah.
there's no safety with those at all. Um, so there's been instances like this one was actually not too long ago, maybe a few months back. I was getting picked up. I was out in town. I was getting picked up,
Mhm.
and I noticed very quickly that the motorbike driver was like he wasn't all the way there. I think he was drunk.
Mm, okay, okay.
I think he was drunk, or if he wasn't drunk, he was off some drug or something. But he was not. He was not all the way there,
He
right?
wasn't like driving
Yeah,
properly.
his driving was not good at all. We had probably went um, uh, just a couple blocks, and in
Hmm.
that time frame, I knew like I feared for like my life with his driving because like multiple times he almost ran to the back of a car that was easily avoidable. Like he
Yeah,
just very like not there, and I was
like
like,
erratic behavior.
yeah, it was very much just like the decision making. It just gave me somebody who's drunk trying to drive a motorbike. Like that's what it gave
Okay.
me. Like so after about I want to say I was supposed to be on the bike for like it was like a 22-minute drive. After
Mhm.
about 4 minutes on that bike, I was like, hey, pull over. Like pull over, let me off. Like I'm not risking
Did
my
he
life in this motor.
understand? Like, did you say it in Thai or were you just like, let me off, let me off?
I don't remember if I said it in time, but I was just like, I might have because I like when other times, when it comes to like stopping, I can just say like like Jortinun Cup, like it means stop over there. But
Hmm.
probably in that headspace, I'll probably just like stop. I was like, you can stop here, like pointing to like just stop over there, and then I got off, and then but that's probably one of the most recent things I can like where I remember that I felt unsafe. Um,
Hmm. And that's
other
interesting you
than that,
say that because it's not like a situation where, someone is maybe being violent towards you or something like that. It's more so like, okay, well, with transportation, that could happen even in the States. You could be in an Uber, and you could be like, okay, I don't know if this person is all there and be like, all right, let me out. But it's interesting that nothing, as far as your safety, has been like person to person type of violence, which I feel like we see a little bit more of that back out west. But
yeah.
you feel comfortable just walking the streets, doing whatever, and nobody really bothers you.
Yeah, I don't think I can remember many instances of feeling unsafe amongst Thai people. There might
Mhm.
have been like don't get me wrong, like there's been a couple interactions where people haven't been the friendliest, you know?
Yeah.
But like um there's definitely been people who I would say like, they seem rude or a little bit mean. But that's like
Hmm.
those were like it's like very small that I don't even think about it. Like, like if
Yeah.
99% of my interactions have been good, I'm not gonna like really hold on to a 1% or even less than that have not many
Exactly. Yeah.
best interactions. So I don't even like it doesn't even consume any headspace. So that's why I can't even really remember it because I just like I let it go so quickly where that I don't even have the
Hmm.
capacity to remember it.
Well, that's beautiful. That's amazing because I feel like, especially for me as a woman, I want to feel safe wherever I am, and that was one of the reasons why I chose to come to Thailand as well. Because I'm like, I really can just walk around at like 2 a.m. and like nothing's gonna happen. Like I'm fine. But it's something that I would never even consider doing in Atlanta, at least where I came from back in the States. Just for safety
Right.
reasons.
Yeah.
But what did your career look like before you moved to Thailand and after? I know you spoke a little bit about your business that your brother took over. And so now that's freed up some time for you to do other online ventures.
Yeah. So literally from the age of like, I want to say, I started. When did I actually start? I first started my business when I was 17, but then I stopped for like 2 years, and I started it back up at I guess around like 19 or 20. And
Hmm.
then that's when I like took it more seriously. And that became like a full-time thing for me. So I've been fully self-employed since the age of like 20 years old. And then up until like 25 is when I became a digital nomad. So my life was very traditional in the sense of like I'm doing, a physical business or a
Hmm.
certain business. I'm physically using my, like my
Your body, yeah.
and Um, don't get me wrong, that I did really enjoy that period of life. Um, I learned so many lessons in business, working for myself, and experiencing the ups and downs. But
Hmm.
that definitely really helped, like shape me as a person, and also just give me a taste of just obviously working for myself and overcoming many obstacles, and then also having a little taste of freedom, with being able to be in control of my schedule, and and
Hmm.
if I want to take a break or if I want
Also,
to
probably discipline.
discipline, yeah, all
Yeah.
those different lessons. But I knew like one of the things for me, like I never really knew when I was younger, like what I wanted to be when I grow up.
Hmm.
Like many people when they're young, they like I want to be a doctor, I want to be this and that, like I want to be a firefighter. For me, I just knew like I was like I want to be an entrepreneur. Like I was using that word before I even really knew what it meant, but I was like I just want to like I knew I just wanted to like
Hmm.
kind of in a sense do whatever I want to do in that time period. Like because I
Yeah.
feel like I want to put myself like in a box of like okay I want to be this, I want to be only that forever. It's like no, I might as well
Yeah.
do my life or okay I want to be this, and then I might get tired of it. I want to switch.
You evolve, like you change, you start to learn new things about yourself that you end up realizing you're good at that maybe you didn't even know you were good at. Like when you were doing
Exactly.
your business back in the States, like did you really think in your head like, oh, I'm gonna be a digital nomad, like, and my
Yeah, no,
channel's gonna
like
blow up and I'm gonna move
it,
abroad, like.
no, it's not something I really thought about because like I had previous experience with YouTube. So part of my when I'm running my pressure washing company, I became like known in the pressure washing space on YouTube. So I had
Mhm.
grown a channel like not super large, but significant enough for that niche. Like I had
Yeah.
my channel like got to like 22,000 subscribers, and um I got pretty known about around the space of teaching people how to start pressure washing businesses. So
Mhm.
through my pressure washing business, I was running that was going well. Got into the content space, started producing content to teach people. So that's one thing I really enjoy doing is teaching.
Mhm.
So and sharing whatever I know. So I started doing that. I built an online program called Six Figure Pressure Washing Academy. I made like I wrote a couple ebooks in the space, and I was thought that was like my thing is just like my life was pressure washing.
Mhm.
Um,
You were
and
like the
yeah,
pressure washing guru.
yeah, it was cool in that in that time period. But yeah, at one point I just got like, okay, like I'm ready for the next thing. You kind of know sometimes we're like when something has run its course, and that's like for me, like it ran its course, and I was like, all right, it's not time for the next phase, and
Mhm.
then transitioning into something completely different, like opposite, like left
Mhm.
playing field, like I completely switched it up. So I was like, now is the time to like try to embark on a new journey. And so Thailand was that was that start. And since I had experience with content already, I was like, let me do content again.
Yeah.
But honestly, I really didn't set out to grow this channel. I just told myself when I got here I was gonna vlog regardless because even if nobody watches, I just think it's cool. Like I'm in my 20s, I'm moving to a country that's
Yeah, you
foreign to me.
enjoy it.
Yeah, so like I'm like even if no one watches, years down the road, I can go back and rewatch it, or if
Mhm.
one day or whatever, I can share this like, hey, like look, I got this is me in my 20s, like living
Yeah.
abroad. Be way cooler than just sharing a story. It's like, hey, what I'm saying, we have cameras now, so
Yeah,
I
you
don't have
can record
cameras,
it. It's like a
I don't have
virtual
to take a
diary.
video. Yeah,
Instead of
it's a
writing
yeah,
it all down, you're like, here's a video of me like actually doing it. I was there. So I feel you on that. Yeah.
exactly. So I just thought it would be, cool regardless. And then so I started putting out some videos, and then they started
Mhm.
picking traction. And then at one point I was just like, you know what? All right, if I put more effort into this, it could be, obviously something even bigger. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's been a journey. It's been interesting to see just how much the channel has grown. Like I
Yeah.
just hit 1,000, and like it's the numbers are like you don't really realize how big a number is because you're always kind of looking up or at the next
Mhm.
level. So you're like, okay, I hit 50K. I'm like, now I want to go for 100.
Mhm.
Not really stopping to really like think about how many people 50,000 is.
Right.
Like
That are
sometimes
connecting
you have
with
to
your
get put into
content. Yeah.
perspective because online it's just a number. But when you
Mhm.
kind of see it, like if you think about 20,000 or whatever, or 10,000, like this, we're talking about stadiums. Like this, it's what numbers that fill up a whole stadium that
Right.
have seen you before. And that's kind of crazy to think about.
Mhm.
And so here in Thailand now, like it's crazy because like every time I go out now, I'm always running into people who are like, "Yo, I seen your content, seen your stuff." So it's just like oh wow, it's like these are real people.
Well, go ahead and shout out your YouTube right now. Let my subscribers know who you are in case they don't already. They should, but let them know.
Yeah, so my channel is called the Isaiah Ashley Show.
Link will be in the
More or less
description.
now, yeah, more or less now I'm known for like condo tours, which is not. I didn't originally start the channel to like do condo tours, but it's kind of one of those things I put out videos and then just start. Those are what picked up. So
Yeah.
I guess now people may be like, yeah, you're the condo tour guy. I'm like, all right, sure.
It's
It's
like,
just
well, you just giving the people what they want because you've definitely done a bunch of other type of content here in Thailand, but it
yeah,
just took off. Those condo tours just took off.
yeah. Those are the videos that like blow up. And so like now, if I put out a video that's not a condo tour, like automatically, I know the views are not gonna be as high. But like I'm just like at the point now where like, all right, I'm gonna put the video out anyway because it's just something I want to do.
Right.
Versus always having to like feed the algorithm what it wants, what the people want. Sometimes
Mhm.
let's got to put out a video that like I just felt inspired to create. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, have that balance because if not, you will get burnt out. And I've
Exactly.
talked about this in some of my other videos. I'm like, trying to just put out what the algorithm wants, like, will burn you out. But if you have that balance of like, okay, I'm gonna give y'all some of what you want, but I'm also gonna like put out something that just like speaks to my heart, like I enjoy doing, like I want to share. Like, I think you won't hit that like burnout stage of like, oh my god, like you guys want to see condo tour, condo tour, condo tour. It's
Yeah,
like,
I'm just
give me a
like,
break for a second.
yeah, I'm like, I can put out more than condo tours, but yeah, the views
Well,
don't.
we got two people in the chat. Selwood 1989 says, "Where are you both living now?" We're in Bangkok, Thailand, right now. Zay here was from North Carolina in the States, and I was from Georgia. And then Vagabond says, "Tribe of Nomads in the building." I'm guessing that's one of our tribe members. Zay, do you want to introduce the tribe a little bit and what that's about to my subscribers?
Sure. So attached to the fact that since I do these condo tours, I put out information that's my content is mainly geared towards people who want to move to Thailand, right? So a lot of people that they watch the videos so they can get insight on what it's like to live out here. And so attached to that, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can also help connect people who are moving here because you get a lot of people who are moving here solo.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be overwhelming to move to somewhere and not know anything, how to navigate it, having friends. So because once
Mm-hmm.
again, when I moved here, I didn't know anybody. I had no friends here. Everything was just everything was with me. So I was like, let me see if I can sort of fill a little bit of a gap in the market with being able to connect like-minded individuals. So I started the Tribe of Nomads. It's just an expat community that has like there's kind of two aspects. There's the online aspect to like as like to provide like a almost like a Discord for information about questions
Mhm.
about moving here, and then like also in person meetups. Obviously, so
Yeah.
we've
Have a little
been rolling.
fun.
Yeah, we have fun. We have the villa cookout before and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just about really just connecting people
Mhm.
and providing information for people who move out here.
So if there's someone here who's watching the video or catching the playback, if you're interested in joining the Tribe of Nomads, how can they go about getting involved with that community if they're serious about moving or if they're currently living in Thailand?
Yeah, so like anybody can join. Honestly, like there's so just hit 300 and like one members, but like still now there's I don't even know the exact percentages of who's here versus who's on the way, but like I do a poll when people first join. Still, I would say majority of the members who are in the group are people who don't even live in Thailand yet. They've joined to go ahead and just get ready for that,
Prepare.
or
Yeah.
even some are just thinking about it. Some are not even sure yet, but they
Hmm.
just joined anyway. But it's super simple. Like all the to join is just like it's the exact link. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's like Tribe Nomad something, but like the
Can
link
they
is
get the
always
link in your channel?
yeah, it's always in every video in my description. Like you can see the link to join the community is in every under every video in the description. In the description, you can join by clicking it.
Okay, yeah, send me the link. I'll copy and paste that. You guys, I'll make sure I have the link to the Tribe of Nomads as well as Zay's YouTube channel, The Isaiah Ashley Show, linked in the description of this video.
Awesome.
All right, so I think we're about halfway through our questions. I'm going to read these couple chats and then we're going to go ahead and finish out these questions. So I see we have Selwood 1989 says, "Oh cool, I'm in North Carolina now. What area is he from?" You want to tell them?
Yeah, so I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina.
In North Carolina, is it that big? Like, can you drive around it like pretty
I mean,
fast, like
I
within a
think
few
North
hours?
Carolina's pretty big. I would say so. Yeah, North Carolina's pretty big.
Okay.
Um,
So you being from where you're from, somebody can be like 5
yeah,
hours
somebody
away.
can North Carolina be from a city or county I've never heard of. There's been because like even when I ran my business, we had our radius about our service range was about 45 minutes to an hour out. Right.
Okay.
If you live in that range, I would service you as long as the job was worth it.
Hmm.
We got inquiries from all types of little country towns and stuff that I had never heard. I'm living out in so and so county. Do you service this area? I'm like, where?
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 Yeah.
Oh, from Charlotte. Okay. I just seen the responses from Charlotte. That's where I was going to move to, with Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Charlotte City. Yeah, I love Charlotte.
And you know my best friend Ahmad, he's from North Carolina too. I
Word.
think he
Yeah.
told you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We some country folks up in
The
here.
South.
Yep, Selwood said they're from Charlotte. All right, let's get into this next question. What does a great day look like for you living abroad? So just imagine like your best day, like you wake up, what do you do? Like what is an amazing day for you here and how does that compare to like what an average day for you in America look like?
Hmm. That's a great question. Honestly, it's hard. It's kind of hard to answer because it's like a great day versus just like what I consider a productive day. I feel like they're two different questions, but
Well, what does maybe if I can reframe the question. What does a productive day look like in Thailand versus what it looked like in America? Are there some differences? Are you
yeah,
working less hours? Do you get more personal time? Like, what's that looking
yeah.
like?
So I just think there's a whole different. It's a whole different life from like what I used to live to where like now. I'll start with this example first. Vacations to me, and this might I don't know how other people experience, but like vacations to me now don't even want honestly, I don't even use the word vacation anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just everything now is just a change of location, right?
Mm.
It was only a vacation back when I was going back to like traditional work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm working like 6 days a week, like using my body, physical labor,
Mm-hmm.
a vacation was something that I looked forward to. Cause like, all right, I'm gonna go to this place for like 3 days. I'm gonna come back, boom, jump right back into work. But now I'm not gonna lie, I feel like my lifestyle. I feel like I live a retired lifestyle now, to where like I do work, but it doesn't even feel like work. Like like I do. Obviously, I make content. I also still do a little bit of digital marketing. I have a client that I do work for, but like these things aren't that like time consuming. Like with my client, I might spend 2 hours in a whole month dealing with what they need because like it's pretty automated.
Mm-hmm.
Then it comes down to doing YouTube videos. Sometimes I'm in the grind mode where I'm putting out back to back videos, and sometimes I take a break and I don't put out a video for like over a week. So
You kind
my day,
of run it at your own pace.
yeah. So to say, what is a productive day here? Normally looks like I go to the gym. I either shoot a video or I edit a video and put it out. If
Mm-hmm.
that happens in the day, I feel like okay, I won the day. Uh, but is that what I consider a great day? I don't know what a great day is anymore. It's just like every day is
Well,
just
I
so
don't know.
chill.
I guess like what I'm trying to get to is that I feel like in the States, a great day was like working as many hours as possible, basically. Like work all day, kind of, if you could. Like work yourself until you're tired out. Whereas here, I feel like you could probably work for a few hours and then be like, oh, I'm gonna go get a smoothie and then walk at the
Yeah.
park or something. Like it's just like a way like slower pace, but you still feel like you're getting things done. I don't know. Do you feel that way as well?
Yeah, for me, it's just like, like when it comes to work now, it's just like, and even something that something I'm recently like, I wouldn't say struggling with, but like figuring out is okay. Like I'm in my 20s. It's almost I'm gonna still claim my 20s. Only got a couple more years to hold on
You're
to,
still there.
but sometimes figure okay, like what do I want to do like next? Because I know I'm doing some work, but it doesn't feel like work. I feel like sometimes I feel a little bit like guilty about like, okay, I feel like I'm so young, just like, just doing whatever. Like I could do any day that I wake up, I can kind of do whatever I want to do.
Hmm.
Uh, so now it's just like, I'm kind of just, I wake up. Sometimes, like I said, I go to the gym. A good day is just like, okay, I go get some Pack Pow, maybe go hang with friends. I don't know. Like some days I feel like, I should be doing like a little bit more. Like I should be working harder. I feel like I don't work hard enough.
Do
So
you ever feel guilty like about your lifestyle here? Because like you said, you feel like you're like chilling, like you're not doing as much. Whereas if you were in the States, you would probably be like working, working, working.
yeah, yeah, no, I would be working a ton harder like back home. And I think almost because like I would be forced to slash more motivated to. But
Well,
out
everything's
here,
so expensive, so you kind of have to.
yeah, like and then also just the culture of America is very money centered about like, it's about, get your bread up, like make more money. It's like
Yeah.
I was when I was in the States, like I was trying to move fast. I was like I wouldn't say I was chasing the bag, but I was much more like I'm trying to make this much money. Like now I
Mhm.
don't really like honestly, I don't care about money near as much anymore. Like past the fact of like, my bills are paid. I got money to put aside and play around with it, invest, do whatever I want. I'm not really like money centered to where like I feel like I need to become a millionaire tomorrow. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like I'm way more focused on quality of life and more like
Hmm.
deeper meanings to life of like figuring out okay, what do I want to do next? Like
Yeah.
I probably don't see myself being a content creator forever. Maybe I integrate content in everything I do, but like doing it full time, I don't know for how long I'll want to
Yeah.
do that. Uh, so I'm always figuring out like what is my next venture. And so I feel like one of the things I've thought about recently, like when you kind of crack the code later, I mean early in life, versus the traditional route, right? You're working, so you don't even have time to think about what you really enjoy, what you want to do, right? Most people they work until their 60s, then retire, and then now it's like the free time. But having all the free time in my 20s, I'm figuring, okay, like what do I want to do for the rest
Mhm.
of the route? Like, do I want to be a content creator the rest of my route, or do I want to explore a different category?
Different avenues.
Yeah, a different avenue. Like, so that's something I think about often is like, what is the next phase? Like, what do I want to entertain next? What
Hmm.
new hobby do I want to pick up? What new, career do I possibly want to go down? Like, even randomly, I thought about, I'm like, I have this free time. I'm like, I even thought about like enrolling in university here in Thailand. I'm just like, I have free time.
Go
Like, why
back to school.
like just go to school? And I don't even I've never had like I don't have any like I don't have a degree. I never finished college. So I was like, I got
Mhm.
free time. Like I could literally go to college just for fun. Like I don't know. I'm just like figuring out like what is the next route.
And the fact that you're even thinking about that is awesome because maybe that's something that maybe you didn't consider living back out west because maybe you were so busy working. And now that maybe you kind of have a little bit more time, you're like, maybe I could go back to school. Like more opportunities are like blossoming in your mind about things that you can do, you know?
Yeah, I'm just like for me, I'm always trying to like think ahead of like I'm always trying to think about my next move
Yeah.
and how I want to like navigate, life. And so sometimes like some things like especially when I have some free time is like I kind of want to go on some side missions just for fun. Like not even that like the reason why I never finished college back in the States was like because like I just never felt like a need for it. And I felt like it wasn't be worth it for the path I'm going down, like being like entrepreneurial. But now I just
Hmm.
have free time. I just kind of wanted to go. I'm thinking about doing it just for the plot, just for fun. And like I
Just to
probably
experience it.
yeah, just for an experience. And then like
Yeah.
I would probably attach that to content, like enrolling in university in Thailand in my late 20s. Like, what is that like? That would open up a whole new
And
category
that would
of
help other people out there. You never know who can see that and be like, yo, I'm trying to do that too. And
yeah,
seeing you
going to
inspired
school
me.
abroad in your like I don't know. It's like all right,
Yeah.
why not? So that might be in the works. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but
Well, that's awesome. If you do go to school, I wish you the best of luck. I'll be rooting for you because, honey, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can go back to school.
That's
But
like an
I think
interesting
that
thing,
is
but I
super
don't know.
awesome.
I don't know if like if school would like if school would
Maybe
it's not,
online.
no, I would probably go like to in-person classes.
That's you're gonna be so popular. They're gonna kick you out. They're gonna be like, he's a disturbance, like to our students. Like he needs to go. If they find out you're on YouTube, it's a wrap.
Okay.
It's a wrap. But I have another question for you, and I think it kind of relates to what we've been talking about. Do you see yourself moving back to the States or moving to another country abroad, possibly? Like, have you thought about it? Like, for example, me, I've been watching a lot of content about people moving back to Africa, and like, it's just been intriguing to me. But have you considered living in other countries or even maybe possibly going back to the States to make some money?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm completely open minded in the idea of living in other places. As for right now, I feel very like comfortable in Thailand, so almost sort of like I
Mhm.
feel kind of complacent here.
You
But am I
feel at
open?
home.
Huh?
You feel
Yeah,
at
yeah. It's
home.
like
Like you've been here
yeah,
for a
like this is
while.
what I'm familiar with now. So like when I
Yeah.
even think about the idea of like even visiting home, I'm like, there's so many like logistics involved and like higher costs. I'm like flying home alone is like obviously all the hours on the plane. Then you
Mhm.
get there, taking an Uber from the airport just to get to where you're going, it's going to cost this amount.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, like where I lived in North Carolina, like okay, it's like transportation. It's just so many things to think about. Like I don't have to think about here. To where
Mhm.
like in the conveniences I have here is like where I have zero motivation to like move back to the States.
But what about
But
maybe have you thought of other countries in
yeah, I mean
comparison to
like
Thailand?
it could definitely be a possibility. And like, I'm at the point in my life where like I would never say like never, even to moving back to the States. I don't know what the future holds, like, maybe there's a turnaround that happens and like, or maybe there's something that like forces me to move back. So I can't say I would never say like, oh never, because
Well,
I
for
don't know.
you, I'm thinking, what about Bali? Have you
So yeah,
like in
Bali,
comparison to
Bali as
Thailand?
well. Which I did live in Bali for 4 months since I've been out in Southeast Asia. I lived there for four
Mhm.
months. So I guess that counts as I have lived there as well.
Mhm.
I do like Bali, so I could see myself probably um, that being a leg of where I live, because like the way
Mhm.
I even structure my life now, like I like okay, Thailand is my base right now, but as a
Mhm.
nomad, is like it really embodies the freedom is the word I
Yeah.
describe, like and mobility. So here in Thailand today, maybe, whatever, in a few months, I'm living in Bali for a few months. Like, I really more like see the probably like down the road, even this year, that like my life is more structured in a way to where like I might live part of the year in this area,
Mhm.
part of the year in this country. So yeah, I mean, like, but I really like, I'm not doing anything to like, uh, that like permanently grounds me anywhere right now.
Right.
I think one of
So
the
you
best
could
parts.
just up and go and move somewhere for a few months, whatever. But for the most part, Thailand's kind of like that
Yeah,
home
like
base.
it's
And
the home
honestly,
base for
Thailand's
sure.
so central. Like it's like right in the middle of like all these other countries. So I
Yeah,
guess it kind of has its benefits in that way, especially if you want to travel, right?
yeah, for sure.
Well, let me see what the comments are saying. We got a few people chiming in. Trucking with Hood Chef says, "What's dating life living abroad looks like?" Um, let's come back to that question because that's actually one that I was gonna ask you, but we'll get
Yeah.
back to that one. Trucking with Hood Chef. Selwood 1989 says, "How much money, U.S. currency, would I need to move there? Single guy, solo." Do you want to kind of answer that question? I know it's kind of like hard to answer
Sure. So
right
that question is like it's always like it's not a question I can just you can set answer, because
now.
everyone's lifestyle is different, right? Um so there's I like to answer that question in levels, right? There's levels to Thailand of how you want to live. So I can just give numbers, right? I normally tell people I like a number of like at least at a minimum level, in my opinion, I think like $1,500 minimum to live in Thailand.
Per
Not that it
month?
per month, yes, per month, to give yourself even like a little bit of wiggle room. And it also depends on where you live in Thailand. Now, my ideal number is to make at least 2 grand a month, because I feel like I think even um Like if I don't even know my exact expenses. It might be like my core expenses are definitely under 2 grand for sure. Like
Mhm.
my rent is $480 a month. Uh, my electricity on average is like 75. Haircuts, I get my haircut weekly. I might spend like $2 per haircut, so $40 a month. Food, food cost varies because sometimes like I eat Thai food, sometimes I eat
Depends.
Western.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do also cook at home a lot. Um, but
It
I
just
would say
depends on your lifestyle, basically, right?
yeah,
Like,
it's really lifestyle dependent. So I can't really answer how much another individual would need. It depends on like what do you want to do out here? Like, what type of condo do you want to live in? How big do you want? Where do you want to live? Like
mhm.
those are type some of the questions you have to answer. But like if you were ask me minimum income, which again there could be a bias there because if someone like if you want to live more lean, like it's a possibility. Like could you survive on 1,000? Sure.
You
Like people
probably
do it.
could, but you
Yeah.
gotta really be
Yeah.
like strict with
But
yourself, you know?
yeah, it's about really about how tight of a lifestyle do you want to live. Like, do you want to live out
Right.
here and just like for the sake of being out here, or do you want to like live out here and like have some mobility to be able to like
Mhm.
actually enjoy life? And I think that that number is like to do that. I think if you're bringing in about like 2 grand or close to two
Yeah,
grand,
I would say close to 2 grand to
yeah,
be
close to
comfortable and have some wiggle room, like you said. Where
yeah,
I'm like,
like
yeah, you
go out
could make it
and
off
enjoy
less, but
times like you can go out and have a
yeah,
night drinks a couple times a month and not be like pressed about it.
right.
Versus like the lower the budget you get, you're on a very strict thing. Like your friends invite you out, that might not fit in the
Yeah.
budget. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just levels to it. So I can't really say how much one individual would need. I kind of just give my 2 cents, which is like, okay, I think you would need this much, but
I think that's a good like starter to be like a better question is like what's the bare minimum you think you can get, living there? And I'm thinking like at the least if you want to live comfortably and kind of enjoy that Thailand lifestyle that people kind of show, at least on YouTube, like we go out, we have fun sometimes. Like sometimes you meet up with friends. Like I would say around 2,000, but you can
yeah,
definitely make it off of 15 if you're a little
yeah,
bit
yeah. I
more
think
like
you could
discreet with
definitely
what
do
you're
it with
spending.
1,500. I just think it comes down to your core expenses.
Yeah,
like how expensive are your absolute necessities? So let's say
right.
like if when I lived in Pattaya, my first condo I signed a lease for was only $225 per month. So let's say if I'm making
Hmm.
$1,500 per month, my housing is only taking up a small fraction of my budget. I pay my
Right.
rent and I still have 1,250 left
But then
over.
if you're partying every
Yeah,
night or like
not
depending on your
every
lifestyle, yeah.
that will add up quickly. But
Yeah.
like if you're not a drinker, if you're not really like someone who parties that much at all, that already like will save you a bunch of money. Um, and if like you like to eat Thai food, like like where I
Mhm.
used to live also in Pattaya in walking distance, I could always go get fried rice or packer pow or your
Local
most common
food,
Thai
yeah.
foods for 50, 60 baht, right? So we're talking about $1.70 or something like that per meal.
Hmm.
3x that per day. Boom, I'm spending under $10 a day for food. So
But if you're a foodie, and we
yeah,
have some of those in the tribe, I'm like, you guys want to eat out at the best restaurants every night, like, you just gotta
yeah,
kind of base it off your lifestyle, I guess. That's a
exactly.
simple way to put it.
But bottom line is, like regardless of have some money coming in. Um, I would say that the best, like if you're moving out here, come out with income and a little bit of savings just so you can safeguard yourself.
Hmm.
That's just my advice. But like, everyone to each their own. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna
Yeah,
tell. Obviously, these are adults who move out here, so I'm not telling you anybody what to do. It's just what I
yeah.
recommend.
Okay. Well, that's some great advice. So would 1989 says, I want to escape working my life away just to pay rent. I relate to that. I feel like that's why a lot of people who've moved abroad probably, relate to that as well. Emily says, can I get a yes, boys? Well, you got it. I said it. I don't know what that is. Let me see. Vagabond is responding to Selwood 1989 says, depends on your current lifestyle or the type you want to experience there. They have many videos covering that question. Hope that helps. Thank you. That kind of goes right with what we said. Like, there's no one right answer to how much money you should have to move to Thailand. It really just kind of depends on how you live your life. Let me see. So what 1989 response says, I just want a break. I want to chill and get out of the rat race. I do kind of want to comment on that. And Zay, I want you to comment on that as well, because I feel like there might be a misconception that like, oh, if you move to Thailand, like you just don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. We're all out here just like on the beach, partying, drinking all day. I'm like, there's still like a level of responsibility that comes with being out here. And if you don't have a savings, you can very much so find yourself having a need to work, just like back home. Do you want to comment on that?
Sure, yeah. That's correct. I mean, like the only people who are truly like living that type of life are one is like people who move here who are retirement and already have like a pension and saving, or like they're done past their working years. But like for people who are still young, 20s, 30s, like 40s, whatever, like you're still gonna have to like be producing some income.
Right.
Like
Something's
it's
got to be coming in at some
yeah,
point.
it's just not gonna be maybe in the traditional route. Now, mind you, you have categories of it, people move out here. Some people are come out here and they get a job. But a lot of people I know are obviously they're teachers, so they're still working traditional like 9 to 5, but just doing it in Thailand.
Hmm.
Then there's individuals that have remote jobs, so they're still working. Like I just interviewed a
Hmm.
girl who's cybersecurity remote job, and she works basically third shift. It would be third shift here, but regular normals in America, regular hours in America. So
Uh-huh.
she's the time that she would typically should be sleep here, she's up working for her job, but she's
Right.
just doing it in Thailand. So like I wouldn't want the perception that Thailand is just some magical place. You move here and then like all your worries get the
Right.
windows.
They're
Like
just
no,
gone.
you still yes, it's not magical in that sense. You're still gonna have to like uh
Mhm.
be producing and creating something, and and that's super important for people who are young who move out here. Is like that you still remain productive. Being a
Mhm.
digital nomad is not about not working. I don't think at all. I think it's about just finding work that you enjoy and like more passion related, more
Mhm.
instead of like chasing basically like say a big 6-figure career. Someone might become a digital nomad, make way less money, but be happier. But the
Right.
bottom line is you're still gonna have to create something that produces income, which there's a
Yeah.
million things you can do, right? It's just sometimes you have to get creative. There's a gazillion avenues you could go down. Is it easy? Not always. No, it's still gonna take work, no matter what. There's no way to skip that part. Work is going to be
Right.
involved regardless. Even if you want to do a content creator, people might think that this is easy.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to say it's difficult as in comparing it with hard working jobs. Like, like I'm not going to say content creation is hard, like being like an oil rig worker or something like that. No, don't get me wrong, right?
Yeah, that would be a little dramatic.
It would be dramatic, but like, is it hard as in like it's still work? Yes, because like
Yeah.
it's ups and downs, with the with video views, and sometimes you might
Mhm.
run out of ideas, or you might get burnt out on concepts. You might just get tired of always being on camera and recording and editing and all these different things. So no matter what,
Mhm.
it's still work. Like don't get me wrong, it's still
Right.
work. Like even when it comes to putting out videos, I get burnt out sometimes. So there's a balance between work, but you have to stay. Yeah, you're gonna have to stay
I
working.
say that all the time to people who are like interested in doing content creation. I'm like, you really have to be consistent because it's really not the type of like career path to expect to just blow up overnight. And don't get me wrong, like, yes, that does happen for some people. Like, some people's video just goes viral and their page just, does really well. But typically that happens based off of consistency. I'm like, if you really can consistently get up and create content, which is an artistic form, that takes work, so I can work my body, and let's say my job is to clean toilets, like I can clean toilet, clean toilet, clean toilet. I'm doing the same thing and I can do it well. But when it comes to content, it's like you have to constantly be either creating new ideas or you have to create more creative ways to engage with new audiences and what they're interested in, trending topics. So like sometimes I see people, they'll make content and then they kind of like just like fall off of it because they don't really think that they're getting what they want from it. But I think mainly, at least for me, because I feel like I feel like personally you're doing very well for yourself in content creation. But as a small content creator, I'm like, what has really kept me going is just keeping going. Like when I
Yeah.
really stop, it's like, okay, well, nobody's going to continue to support you if you're just going to give up. You have to kind of keep going and like weather the storm. Um, can you speak a little bit about, and I know this interview is going like off topic a little bit, but I would love to know about your headspace in creating content when maybe your numbers weren't doing as well, or maybe you weren't getting that viral video, like, and you had to keep putting out content, but maybe you felt a little burnout. Like, how did you motivate yourself to continue going
So
with your YouTube?
yeah, so I think it starts with this. It's like one, it's like, okay, are you it's like there's content from a business standpoint, then there's content from a passion standpoint, and then there's like the mesh in the middle, right? Where it's
Hmm.
both. So as I mentioned before, when I started this channel, I didn't set out to like it was just like a passion project. I was going to do it regardless, right? Because obviously, when you start YouTube, when you start content, if you're not in the business type space, like you're just blogging and whatnot, whatever, or starting a podcast off or whatever it is, you're not monetized by YouTube, right? You probably don't have any sponsorships. So you're doing that groundwork in hopes that one day this starts to pick up, right? So when I started this channel, and I did start to get some attention kind of early on with my videos, because I was putting out kind of like niche videos in the Thailand space. Like one of my first videos to go viral like is Thailand safe, my experience as a black person here. So I wanted to answer a specific question for a specific audience back then. That video did well, and then like I put a couple other videos. Like really with content, you gotta like, there's one, understanding the marketplace of like that you're trying to be in, and knowing what your audience wants as far as on the growth side, right? You could be a content creator for years and put out 1 billion videos and not grow. But the reality is, to grow on YouTube, to grow on any platform, you have to at some point, if your goal is to grow, you have to put out what people want. So you have to understand what does your audience want, and you can't put out videos that are just about you. You have to put out videos that like help other people, and that's one reason why my channel has grown, because like I have put out videos that help other people. Like my channel hasn't just been like a channel that's about Isaiah Ashley. It's called Isaiah Ashley, but like my videos are literally about
like
life.
they serve a purpose.
Yeah,
Like they
it's
help
serving a
people.
purpose. It's also something that's word based, because when people are researching moving to Thailand, they're gonna search things like how to find a condo in Thailand, how to move to Thailand, how much does Thailand cost of living. So like I capitalize on search terms and things people want to know. And since I'm boots on the ground, I can answer those questions. That helps you get found in the algorithm. Like YouTube is obviously owned by Google, so YouTube is essentially a search engine. So if you want to grow, you have to put out content that, one, you have to start off with content people are searching for until you build your audience, and then you can put out topics that may not necessarily be searched up. But I think to get off the ground, you already need to you gotta understand your audience and who you're trying to serve. So when I was putting out those videos, I was putting out videos that I thought would be beneficial to an audience, because I'm like, when I was thinking about moving here, these are things that I wanted to know. So now that I'm here, I'm going to produce it because I know there's other people who have these same questions and who are curious. And then once
that you were searching for probably yourself, and then
exactly,
maybe it was difficult to find. So you're like, let me put that out to help somebody else maybe searching for that.
yeah, you have to. So there's many elements to YouTube, but one is putting out and creating videos that like your audience wants to see. And there's a way to know that in advance by just doing a little bit of like research, see what videos or topics are already working in the space you're in, put your own little twist to it. Obviously, then there's the more things about, when it comes to producing a good video is, obviously the quality of the video, audio, but then like the topic is something that's very important, because like if no one's interested in the topic, they're not going to click it all, right? You don't get critiqued on your video until someone watches it. So some people have to watch it first. So what do you do that leads to the chance of people watching it? And that is put out good topics, good thumbnails, good titles, like that things are interesting to a wider audience.
And quality,
you just capitalize. You take the data, a video goes viral, you see what elements that did well in the video, and you just duplicate it, and then you just build on top of that momentum. But in the beginning, you just gotta stay consistent, because first you're not monetized, and you finally hit that monetization, right? You might, first start off like, I remember like my first YouTube paycheck was like maybe like $200 or 300, but then as you grow, it gets more and more significant. 5, 800, over 1,000, 2,000. Like it grows. Like content creation can then begin to make you real money, but you have to stay consistent and really feed the audience. Like, and that's why it goes back to my channel now, that like, as far as condo tour videos, am I always like, is that my passion to do condo tours? Not necessarily, but is that what works for the algorithm? Is that what, from the business standpoint, it's the views? Yeah. So like it's almost,
it's that balance between being about your business, but also what you're passionate about. Yeah.
So those are some of the key things, like with content creation. Just it's staying consistent, but like consistency is only one element. Like you can be consistently putting out like content that nobody. Yeah. So like you have to like be real. You have to get better. And and you have to like listen to feedback. Even if it's your passion. People are commenting. Like I've had people comment my videos and like the audio is bad. Okay, you know what? If people saying the audio is bad, my audio is probably bad. If they're saying that, hey, stop moving the camera so fast, I probably should stop moving the camera so fast. So like,
Right.
listen to feedback,
Take
read,
constructive criticism.
yeah, take it in. What is your audience telling you they want you to produce? Your audience can be your biggest asset. You know, like they are. Like the comments say, "Hey, could you make a video about this? Make a video about that." You know, if one
Right.
person asks, there's probably more people who are curious. So all those things are what going to help you grow as a content creator. Is just constantly getting better and understanding the marketplace that you're putting videos out in.
Well, y'all, please go follow the Isaiah Ashley Show. Check out some of his videos because I really think you're a great content creator. I'm glad that we've made like a friendship because I'm like really inspired by you as well as just a lot of other content creators who've even come to Thailand. I'm just like, this is so interesting that more people are willing to like kind of share their like personal life with people or even just give advice about where you live, like what's going on. So I applaud you guys. Go subscribe and follow Mr. Isaiah Ashley. And we're going to finish out these last questions because surprisingly, this conversation has been going on for 50 minutes. Like, and this is amazing. Like, that's why I love these Nomad chats because I never know if it's going to be 20, 30 minutes. It could be an hour and a half. It just depends where the conversation goes. But I think you drop like a lot of good gems in this chat because I know I do have some subscribers who are interested in making content. So I think it would be helpful for them to like hear this information from someone else who does it, not just me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I got maybe 2 or 3 questions left. So let's
Sure.
try and push through them. Let's do the one that people want to hear for whatever reason. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your dating life since living abroad? Any information you'd like to give? I'm not going to push too much, but I have Vagabond in here saying 100. That's what they want to hear about. I don't know. They want to know
Yeah.
what is it like dating abroad?
You know, like my honest answer is dating abroad is to me it's the same as dating anywhere because like, like I'm not on a different planet. Like I'm still like it's still humans, right?
Still
So
Earth.
it's still Earth. Like like it hasn't been like I've
Yeah.
gone from dating American women to moving to Thailand. Now I'm dating like aliens. Like, it's like
Yeah.
it's
They're still
still like
women. They're just
yeah,
women. Yeah.
it's still human beings. It's still women. And it's still like, but the bottom line is still human. So like it's human nature is human nature no matter where you go. Now you might find a little bit of differences, but at the end of the day, like people's emotions are people's emotions no matter where you go. So like I know that might sound generic, but it sounds that because like that's just honestly what it is. So like
Right.
I've had to make a to kind of set some grounds. I've had a great dating life back home, and I have a good dating life out here. But the same things happen that could have happened back home also happen out here. Like I have many stories about not even my own personal dating experiences, but other people's. Listen, sometimes
Hmm.
it could be a hot mess. Like it could be a genuine. Like I just don't believe in the whole thing of like never like try to like be running away from. Like, if you're moving somewhere thinking that you're escaping something,
You're not.
sometimes like yeah, some like you're not, and I don't want people to over fantasize like coming over here is going to be like dating is going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing. Like no, something like reality will set in, like and you realize okay, there's great people everywhere.
Right.
So if you're dating
And
like
there's
back
trash
home,
people everywhere too. So like the whole idea of just like, oh, you're gonna move somewhere and then everybody's just gonna be great. I'm like, there's some jerks everywhere. Like you can
yeah,
run into them. Who knows?
yeah,
You know?
that's not the case. But like so like my dating experience has been good, but that's because it was good for me back home. So like it's more or less of
Mhm.
like a internal thing. You have to evaluate yourself. Like if your dating life is bad everywhere you go, you might have to just do some self reflection and be like, okay,
Right.
ask
Yeah.
yourself, maybe I'm the problem, or sometimes it could be where you're at, or like your circle you're in. Sometimes you have to venture out. It's like it's all about
Hmm.
where you're meeting people at. So like out here in the dating world, if you're meeting people at, I don't know. I mean, if you're
Do
meeting
you
people,
think it's easy to date online here, or most people meet like in person, like at clubs and stuff like that?
uh, I think dating online here is it's doable. I mean, like depends on like the platform too. Like wait, obviously like there's Bumble, Tinder, some other stuff, but online, I mean, I
Mhm.
guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. I mean, like
Do you think it's easier to meet people in person here, like versus
I
in the
would I
States?
would say I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Um, I don't think it's difficult to meet people in person here. I think women here are most are pretty approachable.
Mhm.
And there's many places you can go to meet people. I mean, like it doesn't have to be the club. Sometimes you might just meet somebody at a coffee shop. You might meet someone in your own building you live in. You might
Yeah, at the
meet
gym or
someone, yeah,
something.
at the
Yeah.
gym. They have, they have these fitness clubs out here. You can meet people anywhere. It's like, but it's like the same way you would meet people back home, though. For real, like it's not
Yeah,
like
it's not that much different.
yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
know what people necessarily expect, but like it's
Right.
dating is dating.
I
Like
agree with that because, like, even when I get the question, and I know dating can be different for men and women, but even when I get the question, I'm kind of like, I don't really know what to say because I'm kind of like, well, it just kind of is what it is, you know. Like you meet people just like you meet people back home. Like, it's not really anything different except maybe the type of people that you meet because you're in a different country, obviously.
yeah,
But it's like the same thing. Yeah.
you might meet a more diverse group of people out here because
Hmm.
there's all types of foreigners like coming from all different countries. So
Right.
basically, let's say if you're in the U.S., then your options are dating like other Americans, but out here you might end up a relationship with someone that's not where you're from, which is obviously
Hmm.
Shakespeare.
You can
So
meet somebody from Australia, from Germany.
yeah,
Like you can meet all different type of people just being in this area, I guess, because so many different people travel through here. You know.
yeah, but
So,
I think it just boils down to basically I would just say once again, humans are humans. So
right.
yeah, like
Yeah.
there's good men
Keep
and
it
women
simple.
out everywhere you go. So it depends on like what you're looking for, like
Yeah. You will attract whatever you're looking for. I believe that.
exactly. Bottom
If you
line.
want some demon time, you might attract some demons.
Exactly.
So let me see what I got for you. If you were speaking to young Isaiah, would you recommend this lifestyle earlier, or do you think you would kind of follow the same path of kind of like entrepreneurship before you started to travel?
Yeah, if I could speak back to younger me, I would have told myself to buy Bitcoin when I was 12.
Oh my god!
And
When you were
buy a lot of
12,
it.
with whatever piggy bank you had,
Yeah, I shouldn't have been, spending money on whatever I was at
hot
12.
Cheetos,
Yeah, hot Cheetos. I should have been buying freaking
honey buns.
cryptocurrency. Silly me, but no. On a serious note, um, looking back, I think I really don't like looking back. Like I love the question is a good question, but the way I look at life is like I don't really like looking back because like it's one of those things where like all you can do is say what you did, but you can't actually
You
go back
can't
and
do
do it.
nothing
So I
about
really
it.
just keep my eyes on what's ahead of me, and I'm grateful for my journey no matter what. Like looking back, I can say what I would have done differently, but what I did is what shaped me. So I'm
Right.
thankful for the path that I went down, the good, the bad, the ugly. Many things in my life have shaped me as a person. So you know, I can't really say that. I mean, obviously, I can't go back, but if I was to, I don't know if I would do anything differently because, like, I feel like your experiences are what make life life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
even when you make the mistakes, it's a part of like who you are and your story. So if we could
Yeah, like
all
your
go back and
failures shape you.
yeah, it
Yeah.
shapes you. So we could all go back and correct our mistakes and be perfect people. Like what would life be if we're all like just not? There's no,
Well, if you
there's
couldn't
just
go
no
back and
stories.
change anything, what
Yeah,
if you could just go back and give like just one little snippet of advice to that younger Isaiah? What would you say to him? Like, it doesn't even have to be about Thailand or traveling.
I,
Just
I would say the
what would you
first thing
say?
that comes to my mind if I could just go back and say something like just I
Hmm.
would say it's gonna be okay. Like it's just keep
Hmm.
going. Like that's the only thing I
That's
would go
beautiful.
back and say is it's like hey, no matter what, even when your back's against the wall, just keep pushing
Keep going.
because uh sometimes you go through seasons in your life where like things aren't great, right?
Right.
Things you might struggle a little more than others, especially like in the entrepreneur world. Plenty of ups and downs, like having to you know basically like fish for yourself all the time it's
Hmm.
challenging, and there's like everyone has their versions of challenges, but like that's something things I've gone through, like just many ups and downs in that category. And like it's just having to remember that this is not forever. Like this is just temporary. Like it's just a little small, meaningless. I don't want to call it meaningless, but like it's not gonna matter
It's like a
down the
blip.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a situation. Deal with it, like figure it out. And then once you realize that you figure it out, you look down the road. Like I can laugh back, like I can pretty much look back and laugh on most of the things I've gone through and be like, I overcame it. It's like
Hmm.
nothing is too much of a big deal anymore because I realize I'm gonna overcome it. So if I know I'm gonna
Right.
overcome it, like I don't I can just borrow the future. I borrow the future
Hmm.
by realizing if I already know I'm gonna be past this situation down the road, I just borrow from the future and I bring that happiness to today. And
Well,
if
that's
I
an
look back,
interesting way to say it. I borrow from the future. That's so interesting. Because it really is that. It's just like I know that this is gonna pass and I'm gonna be fine. So let me just
yeah,
borrow some of that energy and just bring it right
yeah,
here because
yeah,
shit
I'll
is a
take
hot
a loan
mess
out,
right now. Like,
take a loan out in the future, just use it for
yeah.
now.
That's
Yeah, I'll
awesome.
go back and just tell myself to just keep pushing, like, and um, because like, life is a gift. It's exciting to to think about. Okay, like that. There's plenty of opportunity, and so that's where I'm at now. It's just like figuring, okay, like what is next? So the
Yeah.
younger me, like I really like I've been down a very untraditional path in my life, where like like I said, I didn't
Mhm.
graduate school. I've never had a corporate job. Everything's just been like just like trying whatever my brain is
Yeah.
curious about. So like it's kind of like in the my
Taking risk.
yeah,
Yeah.
just taking risk and seeing what's on the other side. Like who would have known? Like my younger self wouldn't have known I would have moved to Thailand and become like you know uh
Tribe of nomads.
tribal nomads and going outside and being recognized by people daily because I produced some content. Like I would have never. That was not in the books. That was not in the original like plan. So you just never know.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I love that for you. And we've given a little bit of advice to younger Isaiah to kind of end off this interview. I'm sure you have plenty of shit to do today. It's been about an hour, and I've enjoyed speaking with you. But after speaking with younger Isaiah, what would you say to just people in general who may be interested in a similar lifestyle as you, moving abroad, or just kind of like taking that leap to take risk in regards to what they're doing with their life and their happiness? What advice do you have for the people?
So I'll start by saying this: advice is only good if it's applicable to you. What does that mean though? It means you have to know yourself. Because
Hmm.
everybody gives advice, right? Everybody has advice for you. Everybody wants to give advice. But what you have to realize is like you have to have that, you have to know that internal dialogue. You have to know yourself so well that when people give advice, you have to know, is this advice good for me or is it not? Like, because what that means is like some people's advice can be good or bad. But if it's not advice that fits you as a person, like someone's telling you, someone might give you advice to say, hey, go become a doctor. That's not bad advice. But
Hmm.
if I know myself and I know I'm not fit to be a doctor, that's horrible advice.
Like if you're like, I'm scared of blood, like, or
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
it now becomes horrible advice. Like the whole advice category in itself is very subjective on you as a person. So I
Yeah.
would start by saying like, is this knowing yourself? Because the more you know yourself, the easier it is to navigate your decision making, right? And to
Hmm.
even accept or know when to listen and not listen to advice.
Right.
So with that being said, my advice to people is to one, know yourself, and then like don't be afraid to explore different like different interests. Don't be
Right.
afraid to try different things because like you don't have to put yourself in a box. Because for me, at one point in my life, I'm known as the pressure washing guy, right?
Hmm.
But that didn't define me. So now I'm no longer the pressure washing guy. I am now
Hmm.
the Thailand guy. Who's to say a year, even 2 year, whatever down the road that I am now this different guy in a
You could
different
be
kind
the skydiving guy.
of
Like you could be anything.
who knows, right? So I would say, like life is short. So know yourself and then like stay true to yourself and follow that path of whatever that interests you. Don't just do things because other people are doing it. Don't even move to Thailand because other people are just doing it. Like know if Thailand actually resonates with you. Because obviously the world is a big place. Thailand gets a lot of attention, but there's how many like what is there like 180
It's like
countries in the world, something like that. Like you could live.
it's like just under 200. I think it's like 180
Yeah, it's up there, and
something
like you could. There's
countries.
a lot of places you could live, right? So Thailand isn't going to be for everyone. So like it's about it. Really just boils down to knowing yourself, because
Right.
everything isn't for everybody, right?
Hmm.
So
And also taking the risk to learn about yourself because you have to do new things and try new things in order for you to learn and be like, yeah, I didn't like that, or ooh, that's kind of for me. So that as well, yeah.
yeah, so I would just say like just experiment with life. Don't be afraid to fail, because it's not even a failure. Just like all you're doing is we're all just learning. We're all just trying things.
Right.
It ain't no such thing as failing. You try something,
But
it didn't work out. It ain't a failure. It's just an experience. Like that's
yeah,
all
it's
it is.
just an
It's
experience.
just an
And with the power of the internet now, we can literally learn through other people. Like I
right.
can watch you and be like, "Oh, let me see his lifestyle in Thailand. I'm not sure if that would work for me or not." Of course, still go out and like do it on your own, like have these experiences on your own. But I just think it's so amazing that we can learn through each other. Like even this interview right now, like somebody's gonna watch this interview and they may take something from it, and that may kind of shift or shape, how they're thinking or where they decide they want to go next. So I don't know. I just want to say thank you so much for doing this interview with me. I
Uh, thank
appreciate
you. Thank
you.
you for having.
Definitely super
We got
genuine
Bria.
energy. Like I always enjoy talking with you, Zay. Like I feel like you're like one of my long lost brothers or cousins or some shit like that. Like I don't know, but I just feel like I've been knowing you. Like thank you, and I think that people will resonate with this interview, and I think they'll really appreciate a lot of what you shared with us today. So. Any
I
last words
appreciate
before we go? Let's shout out your page one more time. I need y'all to go
it.
subscribe, hit the like button, all
Yep. So you guys can find me on the Isaiah Ashley Show. You know, got your kind of tours and whatever other videos you guys can
that.
check out the
Thailand
Tribe of Nomad
content.
community. Yep. And yeah, we'll see what's next. Like, you know, I'll probably start some other channels soon, and you guys will see me pop up in another category. Because, like I said, I don't like being in a box. I like just exploring my interests. So you guys will probably see me in another category pretty soon. But
Well, I'm
that's
excited to see whatever you do next. And hopefully, we got some people who tune in today to hear your story and will join us along on the journey to see what the heck Zay gets into next, y'all. But thank you again for joining this Nomad Chats with Bria-maine. I will
thank
give
you.
you back your time today. And guys, remember, hit the description of the video. I'm going to be putting the link to Zay's channel as well as the link to the Tribe of Nomads community out here in Thailand. And with that being said, we
Peace.
out. I'm out. Bye. Thanks, Zay.
Thank you.